In this podcast episode, Dr. Anna Lembke, a renowned psychiatrist and expert on addiction, delves into the intricate world of dopamine, its effects on our behavior, and the implications of modern indulgences like alcohol and pornography. Through her extensive research and clinical experience, Dr. Lembke provides valuable insights into how we can better understand and manage our relationship with dopamine to lead healthier lives. Dopamine is often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter, but its role extends far beyond mere pleasure. Dr. Lembke explains that dopamine is fundamentally tied to our survival instincts. It motivates us to seek out rewards and engage in behaviors that are essential for our well-being, such as eating, socializing, and reproducing. However, the same pathways that process pleasure also process pain, creating a delicate balance in our brains. When we experience pleasure, dopamine levels rise, but this is often followed by a compensatory drop, leading to feelings of discomfort or pain. This cycle can create a dependency on external sources of pleasure, such as drugs or addictive behaviors, to maintain a sense of normalcy. Dr. Lembke emphasizes that understanding how dopamine works is crucial for recognizing the potential for addiction in our daily lives. In a world filled with instant gratification, from sugary foods to social media, our brains are constantly bombarded with stimuli that can lead to compulsive behaviors. The challenge lies in maintaining a healthy balance, as excessive dopamine release can lead to a cycle of addiction, where individuals find themselves needing more of a substance or behavior to achieve the same level of pleasure. One of the most striking illustrations of dopamine's role in motivation comes from a famous experiment involving rats. Dr. Lembke recounts how researchers engineered rats to have no dopamine in their brains. When food was placed directly in front of them, the rats would eat, but if the food was even a short distance away, they would starve. This experiment highlights the critical role dopamine plays in motivating us to pursue essential needs. Without it, even basic survival instincts can falter. This finding has profound implications for understanding human behavior. In our modern society, where convenience is at our fingertips, the need for effort to obtain rewards has diminished. This shift can lead to a disconnect between our desires and our actions, making it increasingly difficult to pursue goals that require sustained effort. Dr. Lembke warns that as we become more reliant on instant gratification, we risk losing the motivation to engage in activities that require hard work and perseverance. Dr. Lembke discusses the genetic predisposition to addiction, noting that approximately 50 to 60% of the risk for developing an addiction can be attributed to genetics. If someone has a family history of addiction, they are more likely to struggle with similar issues. This genetic component underscores the importance of understanding addiction as a complex interplay of biology, environment, and personal choices. However, Dr. Lembke also emphasizes that genetics is not destiny. While some individuals may be more vulnerable to addiction, awareness and proactive measures can help mitigate these risks. By understanding one's genetic predisposition, individuals can take steps to create healthier habits and avoid situations that may trigger addictive behaviors. This proactive approach is essential for fostering resilience and promoting long-term well-being. A common misconception is that people can become addicted to dopamine itself. Dr. Lembke clarifies that dopamine is neither inherently good nor bad. It is simply a signal that informs us about the potential rewards of our actions. The real issue lies in the behaviors and substances that trigger excessive dopamine release, leading to addiction. This misunderstanding can perpetuate stigma around addiction, as individuals may feel shame for their cravings or compulsions. By reframing the conversation around dopamine, Dr. Lembke encourages a more compassionate understanding of addiction. Rather than viewing it as a moral failing, we can recognize it as a complex neurological condition that requires empathy and support. This shift in perspective is crucial for fostering a more supportive environment for those struggling with addiction, allowing for open discussions and effective interventions. Dr. Lembke highlights the overwhelming array of pleasures available in today's society, from sugary foods to digital media. These modern indulgences can easily hijack our reward pathways, leading to a cycle of craving and consumption. As we seek out these pleasurable experiences, our brains adapt, requiring more potent forms of stimulation to achieve the same level of satisfaction. This phenomenon can create a vicious cycle of addiction, packed where individuals find themselves trapped in a never-ending pursuit of pleasure. The consequences of this cycle are far-reaching. As people become increasingly reliant on these instant gratifications, they may neglect essential aspects of their lives, such as relationships, work, and personal growth. Dr. Lembke emphasizes the importance of recognizing these patterns and taking proactive steps to restore balance in our lives. By understanding the impact of modern pleasures on our dopamine levels, we can make more informed choices about how we engage with the world around us. Alcohol is one of the most widely consumed substances in the world, and its impact on dopamine levels is significant. Dr. Lembke explains that alcohol consumption leads to a rapid release of dopamine, creating feelings of pleasure and relaxation. However, this initial high is often followed by a crash as the brain works to restore balance. Over time, individuals may find themselves needing to consume more alcohol to achieve the same effects, leading to a cycle of increasing consumption and dependence. The dangers of alcohol addiction are compounded by societal norms that often glorify drinking. Many people view alcohol as a social lubricant, making it difficult to recognize when consumption has crossed the line into addiction. Dr. Lembke urges individuals to be mindful of their drinking habits and to consider the long-term consequences of excessive alcohol consumption. By fostering a greater awareness of the effects of alcohol on our brains, we can make healthier choices and reduce the risk of addiction. In her work with patients, Dr. Lembke emphasizes the value of radical honesty as a tool for recovery. This approach involves being completely transparent about one's behaviors, motivations, and the impact of those behaviors on oneself and others. By confronting the truth of their situations, individuals can begin to break free from the cycle of denial that often accompanies addiction. Radical honesty can be a powerful catalyst for change. It encourages individuals to take responsibility for their actions and to acknowledge the harm that their behaviors may have caused. This process can be uncomfortable, but it is essential for fostering personal growth and healing. Dr. Lembke believes that by embracing radical honesty, individuals can create a solid foundation for recovery and build healthier relationships with themselves and others. Dopamine fasting is a practice that Dr. Lembke recommends for individuals seeking to reset their reward pathways. This approach involves abstaining from addictive substances or behaviors for a designated period, typically 30 days. During this time, individuals can gain valuable insights into their cravings and the impact of their behaviors on their lives. The goal of dopamine fasting is not to eliminate pleasure entirely, but to create space for reflection and self-discovery. By stepping away from addictive behaviors, individuals can better understand their motivations and the role that these behaviors play in their lives. Dr. Lembke emphasizes that while the initial withdrawal period may be challenging, the long-term benefits of dopamine fasting can lead to a greater sense of balance and well-being. Dr. Lembke introduces the concept of self-binding as a strategy for managing addictive behaviors. Self-binding involves creating barriers between oneself and the addictive substance or behavior, making it more difficult to engage in those activities. This can include physical barriers, such as locking away substances or deleting apps, as well as mental barriers, such as setting clear intentions and goals for behavior change. By implementing self-binding strategies, individuals can reduce the likelihood of succumbing to cravings and impulsive behaviors. Dr. Lembke encourages individuals to anticipate their desires and to take proactive steps to protect themselves from potential triggers. This approach empowers individuals to take control of their lives and make healthier choices, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling existence. Throughout the conversation, Dr. Lembke emphasizes the importance of empathy in the recovery process. Understanding the complexities of addiction and the challenges faced by those struggling with it can foster a more compassionate approach to treatment. By recognizing that addiction is not a moral failing, but a complex interplay of biological, psychological, and social factors, we can create a more supportive environment for individuals seeking help. Empathy also extends to self-compassion. Dr. Lembke encourages individuals to be kind to themselves as they navigate the challenges of recovery. Acknowledging that setbacks are a natural part of the process can help individuals maintain their motivation and commitment to change. By fostering a culture of empathy and understanding, we can create a more supportive landscape for those affected by addiction.